It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
What's happened to me this morning that really freaked me out, and I need someone to tell me if I'm being over dramatic or if this is indeed really freaky. So basically, I left my apartment at 4:45 this morning to go to the gym. It's a Saturday, by the way. So I know why I'm up at 4:45 a.m. on a Saturday, but like, why is anyone else up? I open my door and there's a man standing directly in front of my door, facing my door, and so close that I literally almost collide with him as I'm stepping out. So I go, oh my gosh. And I shut the door really quick. And then I go back out because I'm like, my mind was not, I wasn't thinking clearly at this point. So I step back outside and he's by this point like moved a little bit. And I just go, I wasn't expecting to see anyone out here that early. And he goes, what time is it? What do you mean, what time is it? Why are you up here? What do you mean? What do you mean? So I go, it's 4:45. And then he goes, how did you do that? I'm like, do what? He goes, how did you just appear so silently? I'm like, this is weird. Why are you having a conversation with me? Why were you outside of my door facing my door? Like, that is so freaky to me that he was literally in my doorway, so close that I almost hit him. Anyway, so I'm locking my door. I didn't know what to do. I was like, I'm not going to go back inside the apartment. Like, now that he knows that I'm here, like, I don't know. So I'm locking my door. And as I'm doing that, he's like, aren't you going to be cold? Because I was wearing shorts because I was going to the gym. And I, like an idiot, I don't know why I said this, but I go, I'm not going to be out here very long. I'm just going to the gym. Why the hell did I tell him where I was going? I don't know. I wasn't thinking clearly. But by that point, I've locked my door and like tested the handle to make sure it was actually locked, like in front of him. And then I go to start walking down the stairs and he goes, you know what's crazy is you look just like my daughter. And I'm like, cool. And I continue walking down the stairs. I'm like, what the actual hell? And by this point, he has moved. So my apartment door is next to this other door that goes down this long hallway to the other side of the building. They're not, you can't mistake one for the other though. Like, one is clearly an apartment door and one is like clearly not an apartment door. So it wasn't like he was planning on going down that hallway and accidentally was in front of my door instead. So anyway, so he's like going and moving towards that doorway. And then I look up when I get to the bottom of the stairs. This is the worst part. I look up. His body is behind that door, but his hands are like this and he's peeking around the door staring at me. Excuse me? Oh my God, it was so freaky. So then I immediately call my parents and I'm like, what do I do? Like, is this actually really weird? Like, what is this all about? And they pointed out some things that scared me even more. Number one, he was 0% startled when I opened the door. I was shocked. He was not startled at all. Like, didn't care that I had suddenly appeared. Number two, there were packages up there. So I'm like, maybe he was just, trying to like take these people's packages and steal them. But like, again, he wasn't startled when I opened the door. I feel like if he was up to something stealing packages, he would have been a little bit startled that I had like caught him in the act or whatever. And then the thing that scares me the most is that he's familiar with that building because he knew that door leads to that hallway to the other side. Like, he knew that he could go in there. I don't know. If you have any explanation as to what the hell you think he was doing, or like, am I overreacting, or like, is this in fact creepy? I don't know.
Hi, so this is an update video to the one I made this morning about a creepy man being directly outside of my door this morning, very early in the morning, and then making weird comments to me. I'm okay. I'm very freaked out. I'm really freaked out by all of these comments. However, it is validating to know that my gut reaction was probably accurate. I did call the office of my complex and I just let them know what happened, and they took it very seriously and they were also very validating. I'm not going to share everything that they told me because I feel like that would put me in more danger. However, they did say, this is relating to the packages that were outside that I thought maybe he was swiping. They did say that apartment next to me is vacant. So I think the most logical explanation for what was happening was that maybe he knew, like, maybe he had been monitoring the fact that those packages have been out there for days and like realized that no one was there and was trying to break into that apartment with no one there, and maybe just thought that the packages were actually for my door in my apartment was the one that was vacant. However, the comments mentioning, these are the ones that I'm literally gonna cry. The comments mentioning that he knows my schedule, that had occurred to me because I do leave my apartment Monday through Friday every single time at that exact time, like to the minute. And I thought of that this morning after all of that happened. I was like, that's so freaking crazy, because I literally leave my apartment at that time every single day other than Saturday, Sunday. Also, the comments that he could have been listening at my door make me want to throw up. That's so freaky. It's so freaky. I am looking into I don't know how to make a police report. I don't know how to do any of that. I'm looking at like the non-emergency reporting option, because like obviously it's not a threat right this very second, but that's also what my front office told me to do as well, especially if I ever see him again, which, by the way, if I ever see him again, I'm dialing 911 immediately. I think my brain really wants me to believe that he was up there because of the packages and because of that vacant apartment, but I think my gut knows that it was maybe something scarier than that, that he knows my schedule, my routine, now where I live. I think his two separate comments about my appearance were really unsettling to me, really freaky. To everyone in my comments telling me that I have the survival instincts of a fart, honestly, you know, are you really that much better? Would you really have known what to do in that situation when you're barely awake in the morning? Like, really? Come on. But yeah, the comments on that video are so helpful, honestly, that are actually giving me advice on how to protect myself. I've already ordered a camera, which is wonderful. It doesn't make me feel much better for being here like tonight, but I don't know. I feel very offended that I've been made to feel unsafe in my own home. I do feel a little bit better that, like, I know that people live underneath me and our doors. I feel confident that I could raise an alarm, hopefully. Like, I don't even want to think about the worst case scenario, but I feel confident that someone would hear if something were to like actually very bad happen and I were to make a ruckus. Yeah. So that is the update for now. Hopefully there's no other updates in the future. Oh, also I did want to clarify one thing. I made a video a couple days ago about a man that I saw wearing no pants on a run. This is not the same dude. That happened when I was on a work trip, so that was not where I live. Thank goodness. And the other thing too is I don't think he wasn't visibly on any substances. He was very close to me. So I feel like if he was really, like, I feel like I would have smelled something if he was like super drunk. His eyes were fine. He was staring directly into my eyeballs with his eyes. And they seemed fine. I think that's why that was also so unnerving, is like he was really calm, like weirdly freakily calm. So that's all I have for right now. Hopefully there's no other updates. But yeah, thank you to everyone who was helpful in the comments.
Yeah, man, what I want to say is probably, you are spot on about this guy being weird, but the when people say you have the survival instincts of a stink bug, it's probably because you do. It's not because, you're slow or something like that. It's just whenever faced with adversity, well, you probably haven't been faced with adversity. You've you probably always had that security shield with a dad or a big brother or somebody who has always stepped in. Mind you, like, there's been times, man, I could tell you thousands of times where something's about to go down and I'm with my sisters or something, when we were kids, and I'd just be like, hey, trouble ahead. You know what I mean? Like, just the story that comes in mind is like, I remember just getting off the city bus with a red sweater on, and then I know it's Crips at the store, and they like, hey, cuz, come here. I'm like, yeah, nope, take it off. Like, we ain't finna do that. You know what I'm saying? Just let me get out of here. I was a young kid, but I understood what the gangs in the neighborhood are like, and you can't just be like, oh, willy-nilly with your stuff. And I'm gonna tell you another time when my cousin invited me to he didn't invite me to, like, he was like, hey, come to this hotel. He was like, hey, take me over here. I got a da da da. I was like, all right. I'm gonna take you over there. So we went to this hotel off of the highway, off the main highway. It was like one of them truck stop hotels, you know. And a lot of people, it's people that stay in there for an extended amount of time. People sell drugs out of there. People, it's cheap. It's a cheap stay. It's a lot of trucks over there. They come and go, prostitution, all that good stuff. And I'm like, bruh, you know where you got us? But low key, it's not a bad place. It's not a bad situation. The place ain't bad until I get in there. When we walk in, I see the people live there. You know how I know they live there? When they pulled open the drawer, they had a drawer full of DVDs, and I was like, "Oh yeah, they stay here. They stay here. They sit here and watch DVD movies all day, right?" So, um, and also it was one of my friends' younger brothers in there, a person I grew up with, and I remember being in middle school, and my homeboy is like, "Hey, look out for my little brother. He coming into the 6th grade. He off in the school." Boom, we, look out for each other. That's how you do it when you got friends and they got little brothers, and you know what I'm saying, whoopty bam. I see him in there and I chop it up with him, and then the person who stays at the hotels asks me, "Hey, you know him?" I said, "Yeah, that's my partner, man. That's one of the big homies, little brothers from the set." And then I'm like, just, you know what I'm saying? He good people. They're like, all right. Dude said, and mind you, this is like 2016 or something. I don't know, cause the Space Jam Jordan 11s came out, and I had them, and I was wearing them, and he was like, "Hey man, what size shoe you wear?" I was like, "What?" He said, "Man, let me try one of them on." When he said that, I said, "Nah, I got to get up out of here, this shit." Because he was asking me too many questions about the homie. I'm like, do he not know this thing? And why is my homie up in here? And then when he asks you where my shoe, so what I do is I go tell my homie, I say, "Hey, I'm finna get up out of here. I think you should too." And he like, I don't think it snapped. I don't think it snapped. Why? I'm gonna tell you why I don't think it snapped. Because what it do, honey mama, and just tell me when. I don't think it snapped. Because once I left, I told my cousin, I actually walked out. I said, "I gotta get something out the car." That's why I told my homie, "Hey, I'm finna get out of here. I think you should too." Bam. I walked to the car. I call my cousin, "Hey man, let's go." My cousin got the guy. I said, "Hey man, don't ever bring me no shit like this, dog. Like this, we in and out. I don't even know why you asked me to come in. You should have just, you know what I'm saying?" Anyway, we dip out. I see my homie about a couple months later. He like, "Hey man, did you know them dudes in the apartment?" I said, "Nope." He was like, one of the dudes was like rapping, saying some shit. Like he was rapping. You know when you with your homies and you got turn a beat on and you get to rapping. He was rapping like he was trying to flex on my homie, and like trying to, like they was saying. He said, "I don't care who your big brother is from Shotgun," or something like that. And my homie was like, "Is this nigga talking about me?" And then I said, "Bro, I didn't know them. That's why when I told you I'm finna get out of here, I think you should too. Nigga, you should have left right when I left." I said, "That's what," he was like, "Yeah, man." He said, "I didn't know what you meant." I said, "Bro, that should have clicked in your head right then." I said, "These niggas is on some other shit." And then he was like, he thought they was finna try to rob him. He ended up leaving without any funk, but he was like, "Man, I hope you had nothing to do." I said, "Nope. I was getting out of there my damn self, shit. I was getting the hell up out of there." "Yeah, he gonna ask me what size shoe I wear." I said, "Bro, this nigga's on some ill shit." But yeah, you gotta have those when you in situations. You just gotta think. Somebody who don't know would have been like, "Oh yeah, I wear a size 13. Man, you wanna try it on? Man, it might fit your size." Like hell no, he He gonna ask for one shoe, then ask for the other one, and pull out the strap and tell me to walk out the hotel barefoot. Like, nah, we not doing that. So you gotta have those type of instincts, but you don't, because if you've never been in survival mode, it's some things you just won't have. Now, I mean, have I been followed home before? Probably not, but or if it's a weird person out my door, you know, I'm pretty sure I've turned around and been like, oh no, I ain't finna leave until this. I figure out what the hell's going on over here. I've done that, like, yeah, because people be scoping. People, um, I do know, I do know. One time, my friend, you can look this story up. It's the biggest drug bust in Edmond, Oklahoma. My friend, he said some people came and knocked on his door and was like, "Is so and so living here? Is so and so here?" He was like, "Ain't nobody live here by that name." And he was like, "Oh shit, oh, okay." Then he left. He was with some friends, and my homie was like, "Man, that shit was weird, right?" So he called his partner over there. He called his partner over there, who lived down the street. He said, "Walk over here, just come right in." Came in, then dude he got in his car because his car was parked in the driveway. He got in his car and left. And then when he got in his car and left, he like just went around the corner and parked. Those same kids, one of them hopped the fence, and well, a couple of them hopped the fence in the backyard, and they was trying to get in the house. So there's a dude in the house. He actually filming them. Remember, we had smartphones at this time, so I think they on FaceTime or something. But they watching the dudes try to get in the house, and so then the homie pulled around the corner, and so the dude in the house, he scared him. So they hopped the fence, and the homies around the corner catches him, pistol whips him. Pop, pop. There's some little kids, pistol whips him, right? The kid goes to the hospital. Kid is like, "Well, what happened?" He's like, "Oh, this person pistol whipped me or whatever." And so the police came to his house. Police came to his house. He told them, "Hey, they was trying to break in my house. I don't know." Well, the kid said that they was trying to break in to find some drugs because they said that somebody told them that he had drugs in the house. So what did they do? They said, "Oh, we heard it was drugs in the house," and my God, at that point, it wasn't nothing he could do. So they searched the house and they went in the garage. They popped the trunk of his car on the inside, found like 300 pounds of weed, like some ounces of cocaine, AKs, bulletproof vests, all that. I mean, it might have been like 1,000 pounds. It was a bunch. It was a bunch. Like they had that shit stacked up. And yeah, he got busted because some little kids, he knew them kids was up to something, but then when he pistol whipped them and they snitched on him, that's where it went bad. And that's a shame. But